Often we find that some investors are more successful than others in terms of how well their portfolio has done, how rapidly they've been able to build their portfolio, and certainly how successfully they've been able to diversify their portfolio in reaching their goals. Of course, to be successful, there needs to be a set formula that's applied, and it does not matter how much income you earn or how much capital that you've got to get started with, although it does help you on the journey a lot faster. But first off, we need to be able to identify our money blocks. What I mean by that is our relationship with debt. Often, we have sleepless nights when we feel that we owe too much to the bank, or we have too many properties with too many loans. I have a simple way of dealing with this. It is the dollar amount per week that I need to shore up to be able to hold the debt. So in that way, I'm not worried about how many millions of dollars of debt I have. It's more about how many dollars I have to come up with per week to be able to hold the entire portfolio. And that way it gives you a lot more of sleep at night factor. Now, this brings us back to the absolute fundamental of property investing, which is goal setting. And before you actually do start investing in property, we need to actually map out the journey. That'll help us determine where we're going to invest, how rapidly we're going to invest, and what asset class we're going to invest in. So the key to it is to work out what the end game looks like to you. Not in terms of the number of properties, but in terms of the income. Whether it is to replace your current income in a set period of time, whether it be a decade or 15 years or 20 years, whether it is to supplement your current income, and whether it is in 5, 10, 15 years time. And that will then help you determine as to how rapidly you need to buy, what types of properties you need to buy, whether you need to buy properties to build up your capital base really quickly. In other words, you need to be buying more of your renovation style properties, or whether it is more of a sedate pace of buying some key buy and hold properties in good locale. Once you've done that, obviously we then need to work out what our negative cash flow tolerance is. What I mean by that is that before tax, how much money do you need to fork out to be able to hold onto your portfolio? If you set that threshold, it helps you choose the right type of property. And that way you don't get swayed by the many different seminars out there, the many different types of investing strategies out there. It keeps you focused on what works best based on your own financial fingerprint. In other words, you're then competing with yourself and not with your colleagues. Because often when you find that as you start competing with your colleagues, because they have a different negative cash flow tolerance, they may be buying properties that are far different to yours in terms of cash flow and capital growth, or the dollar amount at which they're buying. So it's really important that we bring it down to your own financials. Then obviously the third bit is the time frame that you're giving yourself. Are we giving ourselves 5 years? Are we giving ourselves 10 years to reach that goal? Or are we giving ourselves a lot longer to reach that goal? The reason why that is important is that it determines how quickly you buy, because at the end of the day, we want to be paying off these loans. So we need to be buying these properties in a set period of time and then implement a different strategy to help pay down the loans. If you have a large amount of capital, you will find that you are able to go a lot faster, or given the finance market, you may find that you have a lot more lenders that are willing to lend you money, or you have a greater choice of lenders because you have a larger deposit. Once you have bought your properties, obviously, the idea is to have that continually reviewed. In other words, the performance of your portfolio needs to be continually reviewed. Get an expert to sit down with you and go through the numbers, go through what the loans are, go through what the rents are at the moment, go through what the strategies are for each property. Obviously, you would have bought the properties with the strategy in mind. Make sure that you have independent eyes that go through your portfolio. In other words, someone that can sit down with you and help you review your rents, help you review your loans, and help you review the strategies that are there to be implemented, corrected for the current market conditions. This is one of the things that we do continually for our successful clients, where we do sit down with them and review their entire portfolio before we recommend whether we add to the portfolio or to stop buying and start implementing the pay down phase, which is bringing forward perhaps a construction, bringing forward perhaps a sale, or actually stop buying for a period of time while we allow the portfolio to mature.